Welcome to the We Guard Cleveland podcast with me, your host, Casey. In this episode, we are talking about possible trades for Guardians pitcher Shane Bieber and Emmanuel Clase. So here's a baseball card of Shane Bieber, and here are two Emmanuel Clase cards. I also, just in the intro of this podcast, I wanted to bring up that Shohei Ohtani, you guys are all familiar with him, got the biggest contract in sports history. He signed a 10-year, $700 million contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers yesterday, which means he will be getting $70 million per year for the next 10 years, 100% guaranteed. And because it's a big sports thing, I just wanted, even though we're a Guardians channel, I just wanted to bring that up. So, teams who are reportedly interested in these players are the Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati Reds, New York Yankees, and Atlanta Braves. They're reportedly interested in either one or both of these guys for trades. So, I made some proposal trades ideas, and I'm going to either accept or decline them for each of these teams, except for the Atlanta Braves, and I'll tell you why. So let's start off with the Cincinnati Reds. So the trade, so I really like Emmanuel Clase, and we would need a very big haul to give him up. I really don't want to give him up, and because I really think he's a good player, so here would be an offer, a reasonable offer to get Clase, and I would decide if we accept or decline it, because Emmanuel Clase statistically is the best closer in all of baseball over the past 3 years. So we would need a ton to give him up. So in this trade, the Reds would get Emmanuel Clase, and the Guardians would receive center fielder TJ Friedel and relief pitcher Emilio Pagan, plus two prospects who, they don't have to be like top 15, they can be lower prospects, but just two young players who could help us out. So now we have to decide if we're going to accept or decline this trade. So TJ Friedel, let's look at his stats. So last year for the Reds, TJ Friedel hit .279 with 18 home runs and 66 RBIs, which are very good numbers. That would for sure be an upgrade over our current center fielder, Miles Straw, who could be also another player who could be traded this offseason. Miles Straw has been very bad the last 2 years hitting. However, his defense has been very good, but he's not hitting enough to be able to stay in the lineup every day. So I do think the Guardians would want a power hitting center fielder like Friedel. And then Emilio Pagan is a relief pitcher. He had 5 wins, 2 losses with a 2.99 ERA, 65 strikeouts to 21 walks. I think that's great numbers, and those two plus maybe a couple prospects, I think it would be worth the trade. I think we would be willing to accept this trade. I'm not sure if the Reds would do it, but I would accept this trade, and I think because of how the Reds need a closer right now, that they would be willing to do this for Clase. So yeah, I would accept that trade. The next trade is for both with the Cubs, and I have them wanting Shane Bieber and Emmanuel Clase, which they've said. So the trade would look like the Cubs get Emmanuel Clase, Shane Bieber, and a Guardians prospect for Adbert Alzolay, who is a relief pitcher. He was 2-5 with a 2.67 ERA. He had 67 strikeouts to 13 walks last year. right fielder Saya Suzuki, who hit 285 with 20 home runs and 74 RBIs, and two prospects plus cash to help pay. They would give us cash to help pay for Suzuki's contract, and we would also get top 5 prospect Ben Brown from them, who is a relief pitcher. So this is a tough trade because we're giving up both Clase and Bieber, but we get a really nice haul for them. And I think the Guardians are in a little bit of a rebuilding mode right now, so I could see this trade happening. So I would say that they should accept this trade. Yeah. So the next trade idea I had for the Guardians was the Guardians and Yankees. This is just for Bieber, not for Clase. The Yankees have Clay Holmes, who's a good closer already. I know they've shown interest in Clase also, but I think their starting rotation is what needs more help. Bieber could help replace Luis Severino, maybe, who they lost to the Mets this offseason. But I don't think they would make a big offer for him. So I think the Yankees would offer. They get Shane Bieber. We get Jason Dominguez, who's a center fielder. He only spent September in the majors. He had 258 with 4 home runs and 7 RBIs. I don't think them or any other team would want to give up a ton for Shane Bieber, but that is why I would decline this trade, because I think Bieber is better than people think. I really like Shane Bieber. I really would not like to trade him. I know he's been injured the last few years, so I don't think we would get good value for him anyways. While we could get good value from Emmanuel Clase. So I would decline that trade. And I would not make a trade with the Atlanta Braves. Their team is really good. So I don't really think they'd want to give up enough to. I don't think either of these players would be major upgrades to Raisel Iglesias, their closer, or their ace pitcher Max Fried. So I don't really believe those rumors. So I don't think it is realistic to expect for them to make a trade like that. So that is what I was going to go over for today's podcast. I know it wasn't as long of a podcast as we want to do, but it's harder this off season. I'm considering doing some player rankings and stuff that we could use to make these podcasts longer. But tell me what you guys think. If you would accept or decline these trades, please leave a like and subscribe. Tell your friends about this channel. And yeah, for now, Casey is out.